going to ask you something, and this is a very interesting topic, and there's a lot of mixed feelings about this. And I'm going to hit it. I'm going to frame it from a marketing perspective, but then I want your clinician perspective on it, and then we can kind of dive into it. So SmileDirectClub, probably hands down, maybe Invisalign's a close second, is the best, has done the best job in marketing in dentistry.
Yeah.
Like in Aspen's in that conversation, right? There's a couple others, but SmileDirectClub just has gone out and created a market where people weren't even thinking about them, right? They're going out and creating opportunities. And so from a marketing perspective, I'm just like, that's really cool. That's awesome that they're doing that.
Yeah.
They're obviously spending a lot of money. To your point, they have to just blanket everywhere. So it's not something that you can just go do if you're a single practice. What is your thought on their approach to consumerism, and what does that mean to you? And then how do you look at that, and how do you break that down from the marketing side and then the clinician side?
Yeah. I think it's funny, as practitioner, so I'm an orthodontist. So obviously all the people out there are like, I wonder what he thinks. You know what I think, right? On the clinician side of things. Done. Now, what's interesting, I think we start to, as clinicians, start to acknowledge this as for what it is. It's genius, right? We have to acknowledge that. We have to look at it. And then we also have to think, okay, if they're on the consumer, the direct consumer side, and how they're working with these individual people, what of these pieces did we miss? Because if we already had all this cool stuff, we were providing the most unbelievable experience on earth, this would be nothing new. None of everybody would be like, I've been doing that for like 50 years. What the hell?
They wouldn't be able to come and take over as quickly as they did. 100%.
Exactly. Right. So we were missing something, and not just something, we were missing a lot of things in a gigantic way. So they were able to look at it. It's not just going like, oh, well, I don't need a doctor for this. They do need a doctor for this, right? They still have to have that, right? So they looked at it and go, what do people actually care about? And in my opinion, with the SmileDirectClubs, the Candids of the world, and by the way, they're getting better. So for all those people that go, oh, well, SmileDirectClub IPO'd and it tanked, and yeah, screw those guys. No. They got all the cash, and they got really smart people. They're going to figure out what they screwed up. The big thing they screwed up with was what? Partnering with doctors, right? They made us all hate them. So guess what they did? They found doctors out there that they can partner with now, turned them into centers, and they're going to get better every single day. So this is the time where we kind of have this lag period where we need to focus on what we can do. And really, I think that they did two things very powerful, really three things very powerfully. One, we were talking about just a second ago, right? Marketing. They have a $300 million a year marketing spend where they're going to do television marketing. They're going to put you on the side of buses. They're going to be on bus stops. You're going to have your friends referring you in, like all these different pieces.
Which sometimes people hear 300 million and they go, that's a huge budget. Nationally, it's a drop in the bucket. Yeah.
Tiny. I bet you if you look at Coca-Cola's, it's a bit more, right? So that's what's really interesting about all of this, is that they've got that piece. So they figured out that marketing works. So that's what I want people to take away from that. Marketing works in dentistry, right? It just does. We're very lucky that we have huge margins, right? If we're selling, tiny little trinkets where we have 1%, 2% margins out there,
rocks
not
stuff.
As cool.
Yeah.
That's where that's looking at. Whereas if we are selling something, I don't know, like dental treatment, and we've got huge margins, we can probably fidget with that. And by the way, huge dollar amounts. It's not this huge margins and we're selling $2 items. We're selling $5,000 treatments with big margins, meaning that means we can put a lot more towards marketing. So if anybody takes anything away from this, it works.
And to your point, I wanted to hit this. You can do a lot if you have a single practice and you're in the local community, because it's dentists and you're not selling nationally like them, or a Coca-Cola. I just looked up their yearly marketing spend averages about $4 billion a year. That's exactly. Worldwide, but it's still $4 billion, right?
I mean, because they have to concentrate on the world. I'm selling in Israel and I'm selling in Miami, right? It might kind of be the same place, but at the same time, like that's what we're focusing on, which is really cool. So I think like that's what the first piece is. They did marketing well. So we need to start as practitioners looking at what we're doing with marketing and getting smart about it and working with people who actually understand it. Because it's interesting. At Simplify, we have a lot of different providers. that provide website companies and then generate the traffic for those websites. And I can tell you right now, just like dentistry, there's good ones and there's bad ones. I hate to break it to you. And the thing that sucks, and the good news is you're listening to this podcast and you're talking to somebody that can actually do it right. Right. So you've already found that stop. But at the same time, there's a bunch of good people out there and there's a bunch of really terrible people that are really good at selling. Just remember that.
Yep.
Most marketing if you're hearing
most marketing companies are built on the back of their sales department. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the harder your sale is, like the more firm that is, I'd honestly probably tell you, maybe the more weary you should probably be about it. Yeah. If your friend is like, dude, you wouldn't believe the unbelievable results I just got with this, you should probably talk to that person because it's rare when that actually happens.
Yep.
Yeah. And really cool. And by the way, you will have tangible results. That's the other thing with your marketing company. If you're talking with somebody out there that cannot show you the results, like you need to ask that question upon the sale. You need to say, hey, will you be able to show me what my dollars to cents meant at the back end?
Yep. So
if they say yes, keep talking.
Yeah. So that's what we tell everybody. You need to be able to measure cost per lead, how much, and a lead is an actual person, not somebody clicking on something. Got to define that. Cost per lead, cost per acquisition. How much did it cost to drive somebody through your door? Most people can't answer that question. Most practices can't figure that out. And that's crucial. You have to know that number. If you don't know how much it is to drive somebody in the door, you don't know, you can't scale. Like you can, but you're guessing, right? And then number 3 is lifetime value or ROI. You need to be able to actually look at, and the reason I say lifetime value, it depends on how you look at it, not at averages though. That's what a lot of people do is they go, oh, my average lifetime value is this. So then I got 10 people. So it's this, but marketing always performs differently. Real. Sometimes they buy way more. Sometimes they buy way less. And so you need to be able to look at what's my same day, what's my 30-day, what's my 90-day ROI on those numbers. So I'm 100% with you. But so for SmileDirectClub, marketing. That was number 1. Yep. What was the other 2 things that really separated them?
Yeah. And by the way, Gary, what you're talking about, you're absolutely right, is with the lifetime value. We have this thing that we strap on there with our technology where we can literally track a person from the click that you guys generate all the way through them ringing the cash register. So for the first time ever, you're able to tie those through together. Like, I don't know about you, but when I'm marketing, I wish I had an attribution engine that worked like that. I don't even have that because I have to get to the lead point and hope to God that my sales team pulls a drop-down menu right in the Salesforce menu, right? Yep. That's how I do things.
Yep.
Whereas now what we can do is combining like an SMC and a Simplify, you're literally able to tie those 2 together and actually see what the money generates, which is cool. Yeah. It. So the second piece of SmileDirectClub, in my opinion, is giving people attention and allowing them to make appointments and have appointments exactly when they want it. Okay. So if you're sitting on the couch, I don't know if you've ever noticed the number of SmileDirectClub advertisements increase as the night goes on. And they're really, really high at like 2 a.m. Right? Because there's a bunch of people sitting on their couch feeling bad about themselves. I know that sounds terrible, but that's
right?
What it is.
If you remember that you used to watch TV, and as you're watching prime time, it was like the Coca-Colas and those kind of things. But then as you move in later into the night, it's like buy this set of knives or a mattress or pots or pans, right? Yeah.
Diet pills and Girls Gone Wild back in the day. Like that's literally all you had. And I think that, it depends on the channel you're watching, Comedy Central, whatever it might be. So I think that, that's where, as you go later, you see that stuff, but somebody can look at that and go, I want that right now. And then they can go to SmileDirectClub or Candid or whoever it might be out there. We're picking on SmileDirectClub a bunch, but like at the same time, it's genius on what they're doing. What if I could search for a doctor, I don't know, and schedule an appointment for the next day?
Yep.
Right. That's what I want. That's where direct scheduling comes in. We were talking about live chat. What if somebody just flat out knows, I want to see you as a doctor? What if I'm looking at the Delta Dental results or the Guardian Dental, healthcare website or Aetna, and I see that, I don't know, you qualify for me as a healthcare provider, and I can just click schedule now. It shows me your schedule, and I can choose a time, and I'm in. That's what SmileDirectClub has created, right? They've been able to literally do that for them.
And most dentistry, most of dental right now is you go to their website and it's just a form that you fill out, and it's a coin flip if you're going to get a call back. It's probably like 50%. You know what I mean? Like most people, some offices don't even check the email for those forms. So marketing, 24-hour access, 24/7 access where they feel like they're connected. And what's number 3?
Yeah, number 3, and honestly, this is the biggest one out of all of them. They made the damn thing affordable. Okay. So this is what's really interesting is when you walk, we're kind of taught this, honestly. When I went through my ortho program, they would tell us things like, don't you dare do a free trial or a free consultation. That devalues you. Like that devalues you so much. And I understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Right. And if there were just hundreds of thousands of people lined up around the door for you, which is what these programs have, because I don't know, it's basically free, right? Yeah. It's like if you're paying $3,000 for braces, right? There's people lined down around the corner if you take Medicaid. So that's how they picture this stuff. And they're teaching that. Whereas, guys and gals, the honest truth is nobody gives a crap about your practice right now unless you're actually making it affordable or doing something to give them an extra enticement to get in. A free consultation works. Okay, I promise you that.
It's bar of entry. That's all it is. From a marketing perspective of any industry, it's removing the bar of entry. It's a free, the first day at the gym membership is free. You know what I mean? It's
I dare you to walk out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we do at Simplify too. You know, we do 30. It's funny. When we first started, we were selling over the phone to every single doctor out there. And we would sit there and work our butts off to convince somebody who we've never talked to basically start buying a Lexus over the phone, right? Which isn't the easiest thing, believe it or not. But at the same time, all of a sudden, it's funny, we realized this during COVID. We said, okay, I can quote you stats all day long for my provider, but maybe, just maybe, if I say 30-day trial, maybe I can shove your own data into your face and I can say, look at the unbelievable amount that we've created for you. And you just go, of course I'm going to continue. Yeah. I hand you $1 and you hand me back 10. Why wouldn't I say that? So say yes to that. So that's what we've done. You have to think about that as a practice too. So not just obviously on the free consultation side, which we were talking about, which meshes perfectly with making an appointment. But second, what's interesting that SmileDirectClub did and all these other direct consumer practices, even sleep apnea, doesn't matter whatever it might be that they're moving into, whitening is the other one. They made it affordable and they didn't reduce their prices. So what's interesting is they use modern day tools to know who you were as a patient to see if I should trust you with a payment plan. Okay. So they didn't say, oh, your whole case is just $99. Of course you'll afford that. No. They said, instead of doing this over 18 months, which is the amount of time that the treatment takes. And we've got it locked in our head that, oh, because I have to see the person in person and swipe a credit card every time, after 18 months, they're gone. I got to bill them all up front right here and get it done. No, right? Tokenize a credit card, tokenize and vault their ACH information or debit card. Yep. And guess what? With modern day technology, you can update those even if they cancel them. Yep. You ever notice that your Netflix subscription never goes away, even if somebody steals your credit card?
Yep.
Right? It's modern technology. So now we can provide, and this is another thing that Simplify does, we tokenize credit cards. We work with, help the office work with the patient on what makes financial sense to them. Because patients will walk up to a practice and go, oh, I can't afford it. They didn't say it was too expensive. They said, I can't afford it. Mm-hmm. And if we had listened, which we did,
they just want you to figure it out for them, right?
Please.
Yeah.
They didn't walk in there. It's not like a Gucci purse where I want to walk in there like, this is a nice to have. This is, I got some janky teeth. I need to fix them. Right.
Well, we need to put that on a shirt. We're going to put that on a shirt right there. I got some janky teeth. Please fix it. I love that.
I need to fix it. So like, that's where, they're there. They need it. It's a healthcare thing. It's not a nice to have. So if we can just come to that point, the demand is higher than it ever has. Hell, maybe they're in pain. We're talking about clear aligners. Let's talk about that. They just need a root canal.
Yeah.
And it's $800, way cheaper than clear aligners. And I just got to figure out how to pay for this right now. You could almost quote anything that makes somewhat of a sense, and I might not be able to afford it, and I'll throw that credit card down. It just has to get to that threshold.
Yeah.
So we need to figure that out and be able to have a conversation about this, but also be smart. So what Simplify did is we wanted to give you superpowers like SmileDirectClub. We run soft credit checks on every single patient, right? That. You can know who they are before you say yes. You break it up into payments that they can actually afford. We can put backup payment methodologies on file, automatically bill them every single month. If they want to pay it down early, they can even pay that down early. And by the way, I didn't mention the front desk involved in any of this.
Yeah.
Right? Because
That's
once
huge.
you set it up, they don't even have to administer it anymore. Right? There's actual companies.
That's the direction everything's going to go, is just how do we automate? How do we make it simple? You still need a team. You still need the doctors. You still need some people there, but you don't need as many people. You don't need as much energy going to solving these problems because you guys and companies like yours are going out there and solving this across the board, and really from a bigger picture, right? Like we started this conversation, we're not talking about, oh, I learned this in my dad was a dentist. We're talking about Apple. We're talking about processes in other industries and then carrying them over. And I think that's really what is really driving behind what you guys are doing and the impact that you guys are making. So, and just full disclosure, we use Simplified on hundreds of our websites that we have. I don't know the exact number, but we do that, and we don't put regular forms on our websites because we know that the offices don't respond to them. We've measured it. And so the chat, the direct scheduling, all these things, it's just going to become normal, just like the phone to